So the first book's called The Lost Twin. So a brief introduction to the characters. One second. Ivy Gray. At the start of the book, Ivy learns that her twin sister is died at her school due to a flu. Both twins wrote an exam for a scholarship, but Ivy didn't get in because of her low score. But towards the end of the book, Scarlett explains in her diary that she had swapped the test, so it was actually Scarlett who got the lower score, not Ivy. Ivy Gray is also the narrator of the story. As she enters the school, she acknowledges the fact that Miss Fox wants her to replace her sister, so Ivy has to act, talk, and dress in a similar way as her sister, Miss Fox. From the very start of the book, the readers are able to understand that there is something peculiar and strange about this character. The confusion within the readers are heightened as they learn that she wants Ivy to act like her sister, but we're not aware of the reason, so the readers will have to wait and see. Penny. Since Ivy is new in the school, she has no idea about the things which her sister has done. But from the moment we are introduced to the character of Penny, we see that Scarlett Grey has done something terrible to her. We are forced to wait and see what it is. Scarlett Grey. She is Ivy's twin and she is seen to be stronger and much more enthusiastic. The news about her death and the details are very vague and unclear. But Scarlett has left a guide for Ivy. She has scattered pieces of her diary in different parts of the school in hope of her sister coming to find her. Violet, we learn from Scarlett's diary entries that Violet was her roommate and she has always been quite sneaky and even went through Scarlett's stuff. Additionally, we also learn that Violet had also disappeared around the same time as Scarlett. Aradine, she's new to the school just like Ivy and she's her roommate. First, Ivy Gray tries to hide her secrets and missions from Aradine, but soon she discovers that Ivy has been sneaking out of her room in the middle of the night. So Ivy is left with no choice but to tell her the truth. Soon they become best friends, and we see that Aradine helps Ivy greatly in order to find the diary entries. It's possible for the readers to even believe that Ivy Gray wouldn't have been able to find her sister without her. So the author is called Sophie Cleverley, and she was born in Bath in 1989. She wrote her first story when she was about 4 years old, and although it didn't consist of great vocabulary, punctuation, and imagery, she was able to improve her skills as time went by. She published her first book in the series of Scarlet and Ivy in 2015. So the summary. Ivy Gray is the narrator of the story, so we all see the events and actions in the play from her point of view. The story starts with Ivy explaining how she has lost her twin, no matter how many times she tries to let go of Scarlett, all the memories come rushing back into her mind as she sees a place which her sister was present in the past, or when she's doing something which she would have usually done with her sister. Then we see that a letter has been sent to her auntie. Ivy opens it and sees that she's offered a place in her sister's school. She was filling her sister's spot. Ivy lists all the reasons why she should not go, but then she's reminded of the fact that her sister would have spent her last days or weeks in this particular building. Later, Miss Fox is introduced when she pays a surprise visit to Ivy's house without any notice. Well, it was definitely a surprise, but I doubt it was a good one. She claims that she's there to take Ivy to a new school, so the next thing Ivy knows is that she's on her way to a completely different environment. After she arrives, she's taken straight to Miss Fox's office, and she wants Ivy to become Scarlett. This causes great confusion, but she's unable to get out of the situation. So from now on, she has to walk, write, act, and speak like Scarlett. She's taken to her room, and as she lies on her bed thinking about the great change which has occurred in her life, she realizes that there's an uncomfortable and hard lump on the bed. Ivy checks beneath the mattress and sees that there is a letter from Scarlett, and somehow she knew that Ivy Gray, her twin, was going to replace her. Ivy is shocked. We are then introduced to Arazine, who soon turns into Ivy's best friend. She helps her to find all the diary entries and even accompanies her to break into the kitchen in order to find a letter. She has a great friendship with Ivy. She was even willing to put herself at risk for her. After they find all the diary entries, they learn that Scarlett's death or appearance had something to do with Miss Fox. She was also involved in the disappearance of Violet. So Ivy and Aberdeen decides to go and confront her. Moments later, after they enter her office, Miss Finch, Ivy's teacher, enters and assumes that Miss Fox is alone in the room. She calls her mother. This comes as a great surprise to Ivy and Aradine, and she's also disappointed since she has trusted this teacher with what's going on in her life. Miss Finch explains how Miss Fox gave her up for adoption because of her parents. Ivy and Aradine wonders if Scarlet and Violet could possibly be alive. Would they be in the same asylum as which Miss Fox was in? There was only one way to find out. The very next day, they decided to travel to this place, and comes as a great surprise when Ivy actually discovers her sister Scarlet in there. The book ends in a cliffhanger. The readers wonder what would happen next. I guess we will just have to wait and see. So the review. I would definitely give this book 5 stars because it's enjoyable and consists of loads of imagery. Sophie Cleverley's writing also makes us feel as though we are present in the situation. It makes the readers feel as though they are Ivy, experiencing and understanding all the pain which Ivy is going through. Overall, I believe that this is a great book. Additionally, I would also recommend you to read Mallory Towers. Even though it doesn't involve a twin, it's filled with mystery and excitement. So.